Lisa Alexander was a force of nature. Born and raised in Ashland, a graduate of Ashland High, she felt a deep, intense connection to the town she loved. Her sense of preservation was aroused in 2012 when news trickled out from City Hall about plans to redesign the downtown plaza. Lisa's Facebook page quickly became the news source for people curious about the city's sudden push to renovate the plaza. She advocated public input and became a voice for those who felt the design plans ignored history. A final design by the firm Covey Pardee was accepted by the city. Lisa was not crazy about a plaza without more historical features and looking like nothing more than a pedestrian thoroughfare. However, Lisa did light up when she saw a salmon-coloured hardscape in the final design. The redesign had the support of the City Council, including the removal of 3 trees and relocating a Japanese maple. Yet this came as a shock to Lisa. She and other supporters had been speaking out for green space and shade.
The sweet, sweet memories you gave of me, you can't beat the memories you gave of me.
Man,
Sweet, sweet
memories are made of this.
you can't beat the memories you gave of me.
Memories are made of this.
The producers of the film Wild had to stage fake vegetation on the Ashland Plaza to give the location some semblance of nature and colour. Before the city could start any renovation, one of Lisa's supporters asked why the city was not going to survey the plaza for historical artifacts. C.C. Brown worked with the Oregon Historical Preservation Office to ensure the plaza was legally surveyed with an archaeological dig. Archaeologist Jeff Lalande reported all the artifacts found beneath the plaza pointed toward a heavily used occupation site, such as the Shasta Winter Village. The buried deposits lie scattered in a strata deep in the ground. While some artefacts have been removed from past excavations, Lalande's survey found most of the area intact and undisturbed. With survey in hand, the city moved ahead with an ambitious demolition schedule beginning with chainsaws to bring down the trees Lisa Alexander tried to save. She did her best to rally people to come and peacefully protest the tree removal on a cold December morning.
But regrettably, there were only 3 or 4 or 5 of us. It was ice cold. That group of us there, including me and Lisa, standing side by side, watched the guy climb up in the tree and begin dropping the big lateral branches at the top of the tree. And it was hard to watch. With the benefit of hindsight, I now know that that was the last time that I was going to hug Lisa.
This was not the only battle Lisa Alexander would lose. Lisa had been struggling with lupus. She passed away a week after the trees were taken down from the plaza. Her daughter Tara posted a beautifully written letter on Facebook.
In the early evening of January 4th, 2013, my mom, Lisa Alexander, chose to leave this world. It was her wholehearted belief that she was releasing herself in order to release her family. I could try justifying that choice by talking about her illnesses or other struggles, but all that feels so empty and meaningless to me. She was not a person to make decisions lightly, and I am sure she carefully thought out every detail and did what she felt she needed to do. She seemed to take on the weight and pains of the world, and her passion was overwhelming. I think it all became too much.
Lisa's love of the trees in Lithia Park became a setting for a memorial. Her family gathered at Lisa's bench in the spring of 2013. By that time, the redesigned plaza was covered entirely with dark grey pavers and young saplings. Some people were asking, where have all the colours gone? Everyone, including the city council, was told there would be salmon-coloured pavers. The city administrator says the original renderings were flawed by some kind of limitation in the architect's software. Then there was also a city staff decision to go with grey pavers to complement the ceramic tiled benches. At least, this is what the city council was told. Using public records, a Pavergate-style investigation was unable to expose any wrongdoing. City Hall was quiet, and the city council showed no interest in accountability for what some call today the Darth Vader Plaza, the Prison Yard, or Hiroshima Plaza.
Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you've got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
In a sneak preview published survey, 65% of those polled did not think much of the plaza design. The big hurry to replace trees and pave the plaza had approvals from both the Public Arts and Historic Commissions, yet messages between the City Council and the commissions were foggy at best. One commission member remarked, "What we've got here is a failure to communicate." The City Council relied on Councillor Greg Lemhouse to keep them up to date on decisions made by the Arts and Historic Commissions, Yet it came as a surprise when the council learned about the grey pavers after they were installed. Once the deed was done, the city felt proud of their completed plaza. One of the few standing anchors to the redesigned landscape was a beautiful red sunset maple. Yet it was revealed the city ignored a request by the Parks Department arborist to protect the tree during early stages of plaza construction. That oversight had dire consequences.
We had this relationship, me and this tree. People that work at Nimbus know I called it my tree. And about this time of year, I'd say to people, hey, how do you like my tree today? Or have you seen what my tree did overnight? Because it would go from this tinge of red to deeper and deeper red. And people go, wow, that's the best part. Right now, this is the best day. No, it's still coming. Wait, you'll see.
Ken Silverman remembers when the red sunset maple tree was planted on the plaza 22 years ago. It lies directly across from his downtown business.
It's remarkable, and I so enjoyed it. And now, when I look out, it's very sad. You know, when you lose a friend or a relative, there's kind of a grieving period that's different. They're gone. They're here and then they're gone, and that's shocking and that's horrible too, and it's tough. But eventually you kind of acclimate to that. But this tree is still there, you know? It's like my friend is sort of a ghost.
Ken's favourite tree died. Before the city would remove the sunset maple, people gathered to celebrate the life of the bright red tree they remembered.
Today we are offering a requiem to the soul of this tree. I'm not going to comment on the opaque history of the Plaza redesign, the worst public project in the last quarter century. And I'm not going to remind you of your elected and appointed officials whose errors of judgment and questionable decision-making resulted in the death of at least 3 healthy, mature trees right here on this plaza. And I'm not going to question why, in a TV interview, the city administrator demonstrated a dismissive attitude towards this tree and failed to step up with a buck stops here moment of leadership.
But Ashland City Administrator Dave Canner says there's no way of knowing what exactly killed the tree.
Is it possible that something happened during plaza construction? Sure. Do we know for a fact that something happened during plaza construction? No.
Canner says before work on the plaza began, the soil around the tree was already heavily compressed, making it difficult for water and oxygen to move through.
And we had taken steps to get the tree additional water and fertilizer. But often trees just don't do well in areas that are heavily compacted to begin with.
We have anecdotal evidence that tree root cutting was done too close to this sensitive maple tree's roots. People don't realize that trees are the lungs of the planet.
In Ashland, Christine Pitawanich, NBC5 News.
Lisa Alexander had said, the red sunset maple was the only mature tree left standing on the plaza, and hoped nothing would happen to it during construction.
It's pretty criminal, though, that they would not apply a tremendous amount of focus to this special tree that it wasn't only myself that loved this tree. I know I would watch people come and stare at it. I'd watch people stop and take pictures of it all the time. Somehow they lost sight of the most precious thing. They haven't been good stewards of trees, have they? I think the city has not been honest, but the city is a lot of individuals, and I don't know if there's anyone that really knows or cares to know or cares to admit what happened. They also should, I hope, learn a lesson from this.
Oh, when will they ever learn? Oh, when will